A 10-year-old boy stands at a kitchen sink with his mother, cleaning old coins they found together. It is a peaceful moment. Then the back door opens. His father walks in. He is holding a rifle. The boy watches as his father raises the gun and fires at her. He sees her fall. Blood everywhere. The sound of the gunshot echoes in his ears. He runs, as fast as his legs can carry him. Out the back door, into the darkness. Behind him, more gunshots ring out. He does not know it yet, but his 2 teenage sisters are inside that house. His 89-year-old great-grandmother is inside that house, and his father is hunting them down, one by one. By the time the sun rises, 4 people will be dead. A family will be destroyed, and this little boy will have to live with what he saw for the rest of his life. But here is what will shock you even more. Everyone thought this family was perfect. So what happened? How does a father become a monster? What were the warning signs that everyone missed? In Weatherford, Texas, the Kahler family seemed to have it all. James Kraig Kahler, who went by his middle name Kraig, was the city's utility director. His wife Karen was a fitness instructor. Their 3 children were thriving. 18-year-old Emily was studying pharmacy in college. 16-year-old Lauren was an honors student, and 10-year-old Sean loved fishing with his dad. Neighbors said they were the family everyone wanted to be like. They were involved in the community. They welcomed new people to town. The teenage girls even had their own band and performed around the area. But Karen's sister Lynn knew the truth. One day Karen called her with a confession that changed everything. Karen told her sister that over the years, Kraig had changed into someone she no longer recognized. He gave her a curfew, like she was a child, not a grown woman. He controlled all the money and demanded to see receipts for everything she bought, even groceries. Every night at exactly 8 p.m., he demanded sex. No discussion. No choice. Everything Karen did in the house was timed. If she took too long doing chores, he would get angry. Karen told her sister she felt trapped, scared, and alone. She needed something that was just hers, something he could not control. So Karen joined a gym. At the gym, Karen found freedom. She worked so hard and learned so much that they offered her a job as a fitness instructor. It was a completely new career, but she was excited. When Kraig found out, Karen was terrified. But to her surprise, he did not seem angry. He told her it was fine, as long as she came home on time to take care of the children. Then Karen met Sonny Reese, another personal trainer. From their very first conversation, they connected. They had so much in common. They spent all their work shifts together, and soon, they fell in love. Karen knew she had to tell Kraig the truth. When she finally confessed about her relationship with Sonny, something strange happened. Kraig was not angry. In fact, he encouraged it. He started sending Sonny flowers. He sent her messages. He asked if the 3 of them could be together, a threesome. People close to the situation said Kraig saw this as a chance to spice up his marriage. He told Karen he had no problem with her seeing Sonny, as long as he was included and Karen did not leave him. But Karen and Sonny wanted nothing to do with his plan. They wanted to be together, just the 2 of them. Kraig was embarrassed, and when he realized they would never include him, his attitude changed completely. Now he wanted the affair to end, immediately. But Karen and Sonny refused to stop seeing each other. Karen was finally standing up for herself. Kraig decided the best solution was to move the family far away from Sonny. He found a new job in Columbia, Missouri, almost 700 miles from Weatherford, Texas. It was one of the highest-paying positions in the entire city. In June 2008, the Kahler family packed up and moved to Missouri. Kraig was confident that with so much distance between them, Karen's relationship with Sonny would fade away. But he was wrong. Karen and Sonny kept their relationship alive through phone calls, emails, and secret visits. Their love did not fade. It grew stronger. Kraig and Karen's marriage became toxic. They fought constantly. The tension in the house was unbearable. For New Year's Eve, the Kahlers attended a party back in Weatherford. Many of their old neighbors were there, including Sonny. Throughout the party, people noticed Karen and Sonny together. They were not hiding their feelings anymore. What had once been a secret was now out in the open for everyone to see. Kraig was humiliated. A massive fight erupted between him and Karen at the party. The argument continued as they left. Witnesses said Kraig pushed Karen so hard that she hit her head on the street. The atmosphere was ruined. Everyone was talking about the Kahlers' marriage falling apart. Just days after the New Year's party, Karen made a decision. She told Kraig she was filing for divorce. She started the legal paperwork and moved into the spare bedroom. Kraig panicked. He spent hours calling Karen's family and friends. One day he would beg them to convince Karen not to divorce him. The next day he would tell them Karen was leaving him for another woman and trying to steal his money and children. Meanwhile, Sonny began contacting Kraig directly. She told him to leave Karen alone. She said Karen had never been happy with him anyway. Things escalated quickly in March 2009. After another physical fight, Kraig was arrested. He told police he had only hugged Karen tightly, and she resisted. But Karen had bruises. She gave a statement to police that painted a very different picture. Karen wrote, "Over time, it has become apparent that Kraig is controlling. I have learned he is capable of using force. I'm afraid it will escalate so far that someone is going to be seriously hurt." She pressed charges. Karen and the children moved out of the house completely. After Karen left, Kraig's behavior became more and more disturbing. He became isolated and angry. He refused to see his daughters Lauren and Emily, saying they had failed him by taking their mother's side. He only wanted to see his son, Sean. When Kraig found out that his daughters accepted Sonny and were happy for their mother, he was furious. People said he started calling Lauren and Emily rotting corpses. Friends reported that Kraig began stalking Karen. He broke into the house to install hidden cameras. He hacked into her email accounts to read her private messages. Police were called again when Karen discovered Kraig had slashed all 4 of her car tires and ripped out cables from outside the house. At work, Kraig was falling apart too. He would show his colleagues family photo albums over and over instead of doing his job. He would leave work without warning to spy on Karen. In September 2009, Kraig's boss quietly asked him to resign. His job performance had suffered too much. Kraig was paid some severance money and moved back in with his parents. Now legally separated, Kraig owed Karen over $3,000 every month in child support. He had no job, no money, and no prospects. His entire world had collapsed. Thanksgiving 2009 arrived. Karen, Emily, Lauren, and Sonny spent the holiday at Lynn's house. 10-year-old Sean spent it with his father, Kraig. But Karen wanted all her children together to visit her grandmother Dorothy during the holiday weekend. The next day, she drove to pick up Sean. Dorothy Wight, 89 years old, lived in a quiet farmhouse in Burlingame, Kansas, a tiny town with less than 1,000 people. It was peaceful, safe, the kind of place where nothing bad ever happens. Despite all the arguments, the fights, the pending divorce, and the money problems, Karen told her sister she was hopeful. Kraig was just days away from going to court for the earlier assault charge. A hearing was scheduled for January to begin the divorce process. Everyone thought things might finally start to get better. They were wrong. Deputy Sheriff Nathan Perling was finishing paperwork in his office when a call came in. A neighbor in Burlingame reported a suspicious vehicle, a small truck speeding around near their house. The neighbor watched as a man got out of the truck and started walking down the road. When the man came back, he was carrying a large object they could not identify. Thinking he was stealing something, they grabbed a flashlight and headed outside to confront him. But before they reached him, the man placed the object in the back seat of his truck and drove away. Deputy Perling headed out to investigate, but just minutes later, another call came over the radio. This one was different. This one was terrifying. A life alert emergency system had been activated at a house in the same area. Someone was in serious danger. Then a third call came in. Someone had opened their front door to find a 10-year-old boy crying on their doorstep, begging for help. It was Kraig Kahler, and he said there had been a shooting at Dorothy Wight's house. When officers arrived at the farmhouse, they knew something terrible had happened. Deputy Perling entered cautiously. The first person he found was 89-year-old Dorothy. She was lying on the kitchen floor, bleeding badly from multiple gunshot wounds. She was barely alive but still breathing. Then he found Kraig Kahler in the dining area. She had been shot twice. She was already dead. Behind the couch in the living room, they found 18-year-old Emily. She had also been shot twice. The second shot had likely paralyzed her instantly. She was dead. Then Deputy Perling heard a faint voice calling for help from upstairs. It was 16-year-old Lauren. She was alive, but barely. Like the others, she had been shot twice. As paramedics rushed Dorothy and Lauren to the hospital, Lauren turned to one of the officers. With her dying breaths, she whispered 2 words. "Kraig did this." Dorothy confirmed it too, before losing consciousness. She identified Kraig Kahler as the shooter. But there was still one more person who had been in that house, the youngest member of the family, Sean. Police found the 10-year-old boy safe at a neighbor's house. But what Sean told them was heartbreaking. Sean said he and his mother Karen had been standing at the kitchen sink, cleaning some old coins they had found together. Sean was happy, doing something he loved with his mom. Then Kraig entered through the back door. He was holding a rifle. Without warning, Kraig fired at Karen. Sean saw his mother get hit. He ducked down and ran as fast as he could out the back door. He heard more shots as he ran. He wanted to help his mother, so he ran around to the front door, hoping to get back inside and reach the phone. But when he carefully opened the door, he heard more gunshots ringing out. He saw Kraig walking around inside the house. Sean knew he could not save anyone, so he closed the door and ran for help. This little boy had just watched his father shoot his mother, and he had no idea that his sisters and great-grandmother were also being murdered inside that house. Police immediately put out an alert to find Kraig Kahler. A resident soon reported seeing someone abandon their vehicle in the middle of nowhere and run down a deserted road. Officers found the vehicle. It matched the description of the truck the neighbors had seen earlier that night. Inside, they found extra ammunition and some unopened anxiety medication. There was also a backpack with soap, towels, toilet paper, cotton balls, and canned food. But Kraig was nowhere to be found. For 8 long hours, police searched through the cold Kansas night. While the search continued, Lauren died at the hospital from her injuries. Dorothy Wight, the 89-year-old great-grandmother, fought for her life, but it was not enough. She passed away on December 1st. 4 people were dead, and the killer was still out there. At about 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, after 8 hours of searching, police finally spotted someone walking on the side of a road. He looked confused, lost, and disheveled. It was Kraig Kahler. The sheriff approached with his gun drawn, but Kraig did not run. He put his hands in the air. "I'm the guy you're looking for," Kraig said calmly. He told officers he had a revolver and some pocket knives on him. They also found hundreds of dollars in cash, gloves, a flashlight, and a hunting bag. He was arrested without any resistance and taken to the police station. In the interrogation room, Kraig was surprisingly open. He talked about Karen's affair with Sonny. He described the New Year's Eve party where Karen and Sonny made a spectacle in front of everyone, touching each other's legs and embarrassing him. He was especially upset when he learned that his daughters not only accepted Sonny, but traveled with Karen to meet her. He said they even stayed in hotel rooms together. Kraig told detectives, "Things got out of control. I was having a hard time with the whole situation." But he never showed real remorse. He never cried. He never said he wished he could take it back. Kraig Kahler was charged with first-degree murder and aggravated burglary. His bail was set at $10 million. In December 2010, he went to trial. His lawyers tried to claim he was insane, that he had suffered a mental breakdown because of Karen's affair, losing his job, and having to move back in with his parents. They pointed to the unopened medication in his car, his erratic behavior, and the fact that he made no attempt to cover up what he had done. But the prosecution argued that everything Kraig had done showed clear planning: his controlling behavior, his stalking, his threats. They said he had been building up to this murder for months. They also pointed out that Kraig had not killed Sean, even though his son was standing right there. That proved this was a conscious choice, not someone who had snapped. Sean, now 12 years old, bravely testified via video link. People in the courtroom said he was clear, confident, and mature beyond his years. "My dad came through the door and shot my mom," Sean said. "I just heard her collapse on the floor." When asked if he still loved his father, Sean replied, "Not really." The crime scene photos were so horrific that some people in the courtroom had to look away. Others cried. On August 25, 2011, after just 2 hours, the jury reached their verdict: guilty of capital murder. Another week later, Kraig Kahler was sentenced to death. As the sentence was read, Kraig showed no emotion, no remorse, no sadness, no regret. As he was taken from the courtroom, he shouted to his parents, "Take care of Sean so he's not raised by a bunch of freaks." Kraig showed no remorse on death row. He claimed he felt relief for what he did. He appealed his conviction multiple times, arguing jury errors and mental health issues. Every appeal was denied. In 2018, the Kansas Supreme Court upheld his conviction. In 2020, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled against him. In 2023, he filed another appeal. As of 2024, he remains on death row with no execution date set. Karen's sister organized memorial runs in Weatherford to raise money for domestic violence victims. The community regularly honors the 4 lives lost. Sean went to live with his grandparents. He graduated high school and now works in Kansas. His ability to move forward after such trauma is remarkable. This case teaches us that control is not love, and domestic violence often hides behind perfect families. Karen warned her sister she was scared, but by the time everyone realized the full danger, 3 generations were destroyed, and a 10-year-old boy witnessed it all. If this story opened your eyes to how dangerous people hide in plain sight, share this video to spread awareness about domestic violence warning signs. Subscribe as we continue sharing true crime stories that matter and might save lives. Stay aware, stay alert, and trust your instincts.